Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. Thank you. Now enjoy the show.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Auntie, the Nux, and everybody else. It's another episode of RAEAREs Review with me and my homegirl, Erin. Gonna let you know about the What's Going Down episode of this Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Ooh-wee. Before I get too much into it, please help me welcome Erin to the stage.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me as always.
Everybody. Oh my God, the Lakers. Oh, I'm going to cry. Oh, Lord have mercy. How do you let that happen? Okay, see? That podunk town. Anyway, back to the show. Hey, everybody. How y'all doing? How are you, ma'am?
I am doing all right. Ready to power through the rest of this week. But, excited for the folks headed to BravoCon.
Yes. Shout out to Alex and Chris.
From Pop
and everybody else.
The Brooke Ashley's going. Shout out Kiki Monique. I saw her. She was talking about getting her, pack list together and all of that. But yeah, shout out to all the creators that we watch and enjoy that are attending. We look forward to all of your coverage, and we really look forward to Alexander Rogers, aka that man.
That man. Hello.
That man coming up with a new question for the housewives to go viral.
Yeah, y'all. I was gonna go, but something came up where I was unable to. But I can't wait to hear back from everybody and all of their experiences, and plus all the drama that's outside of the housewives' walls, yet still linked and related, i.e., mentioning Kiki Monique, of course. We know her especially from the Real Housewives of Orange County drama with Katie and all of the foolishness going on with her and Tamara and all them child. It's just a mess, ain't it?
Yeah, is Katie at BravoCon? I don't even know. Yeah.
Child, and it's just so much drama going on. We got one housewife in Potomac just fresh out the pen, another one about to go in. So, and both of them is planning to be there. So,
yes.
It's just oh man, it's just if Vegas ain't a place to be at this moment, I don't know where I am. Just saying.
Yeah, if Katie's not there, that's very telling about the network's attitude towards her and what they think about her I can't wait to see Karen, how you doing? How did prison do you? How you doing out? Is there a glow up?
I can already tell Karen is gonna knock out the park. She's not gonna let us see her sweat anymore. Cause child, what we saw in that video was a lifetime of humility and embarrassment, if you ask me.
Yes, that is a perpetual sweaty armpit. George Jefferson, Thomas Jefferson's concubine.
I just hate to think about
God.
it. Ooh, I couldn't imagine, but thank goodness. We know Karen's going to bounce back. I believe her first tweet was even throwing Giselle shade, so she's already back.
Listen, after what? Well, and listen, let's as we take this little detour, Wendy's scandal, it really does put Karen's little stint in the pen to shame, because we can all be like, don't drink anymore, get your act together, like get some therapy, like deal with your substance abuse problem. Wendy, on the other hand, had a whole anyway, great Muppet caper. And we shall see. It's just really funny how you would think that the crown jewel of Potomac's BravoCon appearance would be Karen Huger's return. But oh no, Wendy Yosefo has changed the game on that one.
With all the files being released here and there and over yonder, I'm going to call them the Osefo files myself.
Oh my, that's funny. All right.
Ooh, child, there's so many names for it, so many monikers and whatever people are giving them. It's just a mess is what it is, no matter what it's called, child. Ain't no way.
The Oseftos kill me. That's the one that's like, oh,
girl.
That one kills me. Yeah.
Girl. And speaking of, that poor unicorn almost drowned in the water once it was thrown overboard unjustly. I mean, the mean girl of it all. And the whole part, and Meredith of all people. I'm like, what is going on? I'm shocked and appalled.
Yep. It really, some people like I although I made jokes, I don't want to speculate too hard. Like some people have been like, what was she on? Because it just seemed kind of weird, like slurry and just, the whole boat trip and then all whatever. But like all I'll say is the whole behavior just seemed like odd to me.
It kind of reminds me, just from what was described, it reminds me of how Lisa Rinna described Kathy Hilton having that manic outburst, where just being not so much manic as far as Meredith is concerned, but not to the extent that Lisa Rinna described, of course, but it was damn near close to where, everybody has the same thing to say except for the person that is being said about. And usually, now this is where I believe blackouts can happen, not just when people be drinking like they claim. That's how I feel about it. I'm not an expert, but as far as this is concerned, either she lying real good or she blacked out, because there is no way. And just because you weren't arrested or subdued doesn't mean that you didn't behave in that manner. Not everybody is treated equally, but at the same time, it just sounds, as she's explaining it, that it just sounds like you're leaving stuff out. So, and Mary ain't gonna sit up here and lie on you like that, of all people.
Yeah. I mean, if you Google blackout drunk, there's the scientific what happens to you, like how the brain stops like recording, basically, like what you're doing. So it's not that you it's just that you don't remember. But what I will say is the way that that scene with her and Mary was just like you said. Mary looked uncomfortable. Mary's like, you're trying to like act like 15 minutes. Like, the whole thing was, and I think I texted you. I'm like, when Mary is the one that you believe the most. Not that Mary's a liar, but you know what I mean? Like when you're relying on Mary, because Mary's reaction was the most natural, I felt like, to like, what the hell are you trying to say? This was not a problem.
Right. And she came in love. She wasn't there accusatory. No. Mary really wanted to help Meredith understand to the depth of the angst that she caused. And really, never mind the reaction they say Brittany had, because, sometimes reactions can think to things may or may not be warranted. Those are her feelings, and that's fine. But it's what Meredith did, just because Meredith tried to make it seem like, well, she wasn't in this harm or that harm. No. It doesn't matter. What matters is the behaviors you exhibited. Like Mary said, it was out of character for you. Like, what was going on?
Well,
But
you can't sit in the chair behind someone and talk smack about them and then act like it's not abnormal that they were offended. Oh, well, I thought they had headphones in. You're not being reasonable. This isn't logical. You were
minimizing it.
Yes, you were sitting one seat behind her and you were talking shit about her. I would respect you more if you said, I don't care what she heard, I was really mad at her. You know what I mean? But to act like it was reasonable for you to just be complaining to Lisa about her and talking shit about her. And obviously it was animated enough that Lisa, even if we take Lisa's word as gospel, which we would never do, but even if we did, Lisa reaching around to Brittany and being like, just send her the fucking ketchup, or to Whitney, that means that everyone was agitated enough for it to be like that.
And it wasn't even Lisa's fight. All Lisa was supposed to do is listen, but she participated with Meredith as if Brittany is supposed to. Like, Lisa, excuse you? Who is unalived and made you boss to where, she's supposed to do what you say? Like, it was okay.
Well,
y'all.
Yeah. Yep. I guess we should wait till we get there.
Well, you know how we do, but
yes.
Wait till we get there where we expound more, because we're talking about the very end of the episode. So let's just start the beginning, shall we? Ladies, some of the ladies are up, some of them are still in their rooms, and they're late for yoga. Captain Jason is like, where are these heifers? Now they didn't cause all this ruckus. Now they're gonna be late too. Lord have mercy. But it's par for the course, Jason. You should know. You've dealt with a lot of, folks that be on that boat, and they go by their own time. So they're late for yoga. Captain Jason is finally getting them together. At the same time, Brittany is complaining about how she's being treated unfairly. Heather is listening and whatnot. But at the same time, y'all, like I said, some people were left in their rooms. They say, I ain't going out there. I'm good. So Meredith is bitching and complaining to Lisa about, talking real greasy about Brittany to Lisa. And then we see a little later, Bronwyn brings the unicorn to Meredith with a plan to drown it. Girl, really?
Your girl had a little funbalaya this episode. Little, I still love her. I still enjoy her. She had a suit on this episode. I want so bad that celestial one that she was wearing with the scene with Whitney. Ooh, I want it.
Oh yeah, lady. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just saying that now. Like, when I saw that, I was like, oh, I love that. I'm not normally a busy person, but that looked like almost like a Versace print or something. I just loved it. Celestial with the planets and all that. Anyway, but yeah, Bronwyn.
Yeah, it wasn't just a practical joke, because now you're talking about damaging someone's property.
I thought you'd laugh. Get out. Thank God Whitney said that was not. How could you think that was
right?
Thank God, because somebody needed to. You are a lying sack of shit. You thought that she'd laugh. That you did that?
See, it's all fun and games until someone's property gets damaged.
Yeah, it went too far.
What I would have appreciated as a maybe not so funny hard joke is to get a bowl and have it floating in the bowl. Just dunk it. Something to that effect, but to throw it in the ocean, what if it was never recovered?
Well, just why do you feel like you have the right to do that to her just because you dislike her? So, like, every person you dislike, you can dehumanize, like, you can throw water on, you can play a mean prank, you can throw their annoying Build-A-Bear from their boyfriend in the ocean. Like, Jesus, you guys got away with enough throwing water on her. Like, I thought you'd laugh. Give me something you care about. I'll go toss it in the dock. I'll go toss when they got. I'll go toss it right now. Let's just go even for even. Give me your designer bag. I'm gonna go throw it in the harbor because
Girls,
I'm
I
just
find my
saying.
Louie in the ocean. You going out there to go get it. I'm going to
You
throw you
know
over.
what? Especially if you took something like, let's say it was, a stuffed animal with like my daughter's voice on it, you would be in the harbor.
That's all I'm saying. You can't damage someone's property.
No.
Now, even
Mm-mm.
though that funny woo, woo, woo sound was not real, the point is that's something that is electrical and all that. Electric and water don't mix. Worse than oil and water. So,
Make make fun of her
hello.
with your words. Like, stop doing crap to her physically because, like, there's this weird entitlement with her. I'm not saying Brittany's not annoying. I'm not. Her trying to say to Meredith that I was saying it to be helpful. You were not. Stop it.
Yeah,
You
that was a
have
lie.
you stop it. And you have said some crazy shit about Meredith. You heard her vomiting. Like, you have broken the skin with Meredith. It's on and cracking. Just admit it. It's on and cracking. And
Mhm.
apparently, I would say you can't handle the heat, but Meredith is being crazy to you. And she's already thrown water on you when you had the glass incident. And now Braun, and other people throwing water on. I don't know. Like, it's just crazy that you think that just because you dislike someone that you think is like a certain, less than, but it's just crazy how entitled they feel to like physically mess with her. And it's like feels so uncomfortable that that's what bullying is. When you feel so much better
Right,
than someone that you
right.
feel cool violating their basic rights. You wouldn't do that to any of the other ladies. Who else's belongings would you have thrown overboard after you threw water on them the whole trip? Yes, she's annoying, laughably so, but make fun of her. Like, the Jared thing was stupid as fuck, but that's her boyfriend. That's, her on off, that's whatever. That's her belonging.
Didn't Jen throw someone's shoes off the boat season 2?
I don't know, but Kenya did throw snacks on Atlanta. But nobody liked that crap either. When she
It
was
was
being mean
Lisa.
to
Excuse me. It was Lisa's shoes because she saw them floating. Like those look like my shoes.
Oh,
Remember
see,
that?
I don't.
Well, anyway, um, so after Meredith and Bronwyn co-conspire to throw the uni over the boat, then they get ready for breakfast and meet everybody up there, and even more crap happens.
Yeah,
Meredith,
I just want to say that was
yeah,
some pandering crap to Meredith, what Bronwyn did. Like, sometimes Bronwyn loves to get in on like talking grease a little too. She's a little too eager, a little too
mm-hmm,
happy to join in. Kind of reminds me of why Heather found Bronwyn annoying when they were in the car on Bronwyn's first season and she started
mm-hmm,
talking mess right away.
mm-hmm.
Bronwyn, you're a little too, and I still love you, you're a little too eager to jump in and fan the flames with someone that you enjoy talking crap about. You're a little too eager to approach Meredith with this pranky prank when things had already escalated to an uncomfortable level.
It's real high school, actually. That's my girl, but
Yeah,
it's real high school. The way
yeah.
you're just giddy and you feel justified, even when confronted. But we'll get there too.
And some stupid costume doesn't make it like funny cute. It just makes you look like you're trying too hard.
Yeah, it's just not. It didn't fare well with a lot of us who give our commentary. I haven't seen anything yet or heard anything yet that they felt as though it should have been done. So, scratch you scratched the record on this one.
Party foul.
So then they go to breakfast, and Meredith is going to give Whitney a what for, like she was talking to Lisa also, because she was saying not just Brittany, but even Whitney kind of feeling like she's co-signing when Brittany brought that mess up about Seth being with someone out, getting it from TikTok and sharing it and carrying on. So Meredith, had to let Whitney know that, at breakfast that she didn't appreciate it. And Whitney's like, well, what did I do? I didn't do
She was genuinely shocked, wasn't she?
I think we all were. Hell,
Yeah.
the whole ship was, because it was so, again, unjustified. Now Meredith is just unreasonable all the way around, and pretty much anyone can get it. Anyone who remotely shows Brittany the teach of kindness or support, Meredith doesn't want anything to do with them. And Heather's like, be pleased, like, girl, what are you talking about? So you mean tell me, I don't know, it wasn't Heather who said this part. You mean no, Angie said, so when Lisa's calling out people with gout, DICK, you think that's acceptable? And luckily, no one really went for that. I guess Angie felt like she needed to be in the conversation.
Well, this was an interesting scene to me because, like, did you notice how Brittany immediately tried to jump in, and she was trying to stand up for Whitney because she didn't want Whitney dragged into it. But Whitney kind of went, hold on, girl. This is my scene. This is my moment.
Exactly.
And this is she said, I can handle it, because it was a very easy softball for Whitney in the sense of,
Really, it
like,
was.
I mean, looking at Meredith, like, I'm sorry if you felt that way, but all I did was, like, tell her, you can't just show me this on camera. You either need to address it with her, or I will, or you need to stop doing this. You need to make a choice. You can't just run around in La La Land. And she was perfectly comfortable to address that. What I was confused about Meredith being like, who I really have a bone to pick with is Whitney, because we've been friends for years, and how dare you? And I'm like, girl, what is happening right now? Why do you even care? This is such a low level rumor. Like, no offense to whoever's trying to claim what they're claiming, but, like, people be lying on TikTok. Everybody has a friend that was an Uber driver, this and that and whatever. Unless you have receipts, I don't like she really recognized Seth, really, as Meredith's husband, like, really, she's that much of a Bravo celebrity, and then they were evident enough in the car that was his mistress. Like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, somebody was, Meredith, you don't protest too much, because this really is on a ridiculous level of a rumor. So yes, you don't like Brittany. It's obvious you haven't seen it for Brittany ever since she started recording everybody. And I'm fine with you not thinking much of Brittany. She is a character for sure.
A character. Okay.
Yes. And very easy to, and she has said some really, the whole you were throwing up in the back. I mean, and then you snap on a dime, like, she definitely has thrown shots at Meredith. I understand why Meredith doesn't like her, but this whole thing is blown out of proportion, in my opinion. And any heat towards Whitney is stupid.
It really is.
Yeah. And so, but it was really funny.
Make sense.
No, but it was just, to me, it was like a funny, like, unintentional break of the fourth wall. No, I got this. This is my scene. This is my confrontation with Meredith. She's letting me know we're about to engage in a fight. Get out of it. Brittany being this newbie that, here's the thing that I begrudgingly admire about Brittany. She doesn't care that there is this feeling of superiority by the cast towards her, and she's so delusional about some of her own ridiculousness that she's still elbowing in on this ensemble as though she has every right to be here. And she does, because Andy loves her and how delusional she is. So she's already gaining some popularity as this caricature of a woman, right? So I just find it really interesting how Brittany's like, no, I'm here and I have every right to be here, and I'm not going to read the room that y'all think you're better than me. I have every right to interact and fight with you guys and do all that.
And I'm glad that Whitney said it perfectly, in my opinion. It was a perfect explanation to Meredith's wild accusations that I'm pretty sure Whitney took offense to. Like, wait, hold up. You ain't got to go there. Just ask me and I would have told you this.
Yeah.
And for Brittany to act as if she's delivering helpful information.
Oh no.
How is this helpful? Just like you mentioned earlier, how is this helpful telling me some rumor mill off of a social media platform? Like, girl, what?
Don't do that. Don't do that. You didn't like the way Meredith has been treating you, so you tried to dig up some dirt on her. Just own it, as Lisa Rinna would say.
Okay.
Don't act like you had any altruistic intentions. That's where
Girl.
you fail. Once again, you got a strategy. Don't be stupid.
So that ended breakfast.
And listen, all they do is scream and yell at each other at a meal. No wonder the crew must have been like, good Lord. And you know what? I would have been pissed. I would have been putting food in my purse to take with me when we got off the boat. Y'all ruined every beautiful meal that they cook. And one of the whole reasons you're on a super yacht is to have nice food from a chef. Lord. Like,
just silly acting. I just had to laugh, like, just silly acting.
Truly.
So now it's time to go because it is the last day. They're having their last breakfast together on this yacht. Just desecrated a nice yacht. I mean, first of all, I think the worst thing that could ever happen to this when they got there was that they were sharing a room. Like, listen, if you anybody listening, watching, listen. If you invite me on the yacht, RAEARES don't share rooms. No, not unless we're coupled up. That's one thing, but no. I don't share rooms, and I definitely ain't sharing the bathroom. No. So make sure I get my own accommodations. Thank you very much.
Yep, I agree. I need space to retreat. I need even if we are friends and I like you, like even if we're coupled up, can we have separate rooms? I'll come see you later. I'm so serious. I need, especially in a situation like this where it's like intensive emotional conflict and toxic, you just need a sanctuary to recharge.
Girl. And why not 2 beds? I mean, what anyway, it was just weird. I was like, wait, 1 bed share, but we grown. Grown. Well, luckily, the way that they were paired was apropos if they were ever to share a bed, except for Bronwyn and Brittany now. You know, I would have imagined Brittany and Heather and Bronwyn and Lisa would have been better.
Ooh, Bronwyn and Lisa hate each other.
But I think they would have shared the bed. They know each other.
True. I don't.
For me, it's about knowing you. Now, we may have issues, but at least I know you. Where Brittany and Bronwyn don't know each other. That's how I think. But regardless, they need their own bed if they're gonna share a room. Hell.
Yep.
What else going on? Oh yeah, so breakfast is over, child. It's time to go. Everybody packing up and everything, Then on the way out, of course, Britt's like, "Where's my uni? Like, what's going on?" So right when they're exiting the yacht, some are already off the yacht waiting over there over yonder, and they approach Brittany like, "Oh, here you go. We found it in the water." She's like, "Why is it wet?" And so she started to ask people, "Did you throw it over?" So she finally gets to the 2 culprits, who's already waiting in the wings over there in the shade with hats on there and sunglasses, and Meredith gives this sinister laugh, like, "Bitch, please, I don't give a damn," as she barely cops to it, but Bronwyn at least voices, Yes, we did. We thought it would be funny. And that's when, like when you said earlier, when it was like, why would you think that would be funny?
Don't say that. You didn't think it would be funny. You thought it was funny to you. You didn't think she would think it was funny. You didn't care what she would think. You thought it was funny for everybody else. I just wanted to be like, if I were there, even if I liked Bronwyn, I would have been like, don't say that. You did not think she'd laugh. Why would she laugh? No, you know that. No, you did it so we'd all laugh, but it's not laughable. It's just mean. I will say I need to go back. Well, I won't because I don't care enough. But like, I remember thinking when they gave her the unicorn, it didn't look that wet. So I don't know. Sometimes some of their shenanigans, I'm like, is this production or is this real? What is going on? However, we did see it in the water. We did see it thrown, all that. So I don't doubt it. But
Okay.
Bronwyn, shame on you. Stand behind your prank. And don't say we honestly thought you'd laugh. Why? You destroyed her. You threw away her stuffed animal that her boyfriend gave her to take on the trip. Even though he's cheesy as hell and the whole thing is dumb, she brought it and like loves it. Like why would she think it was funny that you destroyed it?
That's a shame.
Like, don't say that. You're just trying to get out of the fact that you now feel like a dickhead for what you did, and you should, because let me throw something you value in the water. Let me ruin something of yours. It's the violation element. Again, y'all are acting scary because you are feeling entitled to violate this woman's space, her rights, her stuff, like in a way because you think that you're better than her and you think that your vitriol towards her warrants you doing things to her that are like not even that are aggressive. And then you have this reaction that's just weird. You literally are, it's literally in the same vein, maybe a different drug of Tamara's Xanax in a drink. You have this calm, weird, meanness towards her that is still simmering about, oh, maybe he wanted to take a dip. You're like, whoa, what are you doing? You're being a weirdo. Oh, now I'm the one that's in trouble. This is all of your reaction to this? Okay. Meredith, you're really unlikable right now. And I normally don't have that strong of feelings about her, period. Even when she says dumb crap, you know what I mean? Like, the
It's
rumors and the
crazy.
nastiness and, you, I've had enough of you. And when she yelled at Brittany for the recording and stuff. Just this time I'm like, ooh, Meredith, you suck.
I'm just so disappointed because
Mm-hmm.
it's just so immature and cruel. Okay, because it's one thing if Whitney did it, but it's still cruel no matter who does it because you're damaging someone's property, possibly beyond repair. That's something unique and
Mm-hmm.
something voice activated, and you're damaging it because you don't like the girl. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
It's I don't
It's
know. It
just
could be litigious. That's what I'm thinking.
it's just disturbing.
Yeah, like, mm-mm. And how old are y'all?
Well, and like, do you feel ashamed of yourself that you've already thrown water on this woman the whole trip? Like, what I mean, like, like, I don't I'm not with this like physical crap that you're doing. You're breaking the line. It's bad enough sometimes the way you yell at each other in vulnerable moments, but you're like actively hazing this woman and like in a way that feels really weird because you're violating her personal space, her rights, like you're ruining her stuff, and you're doing you ruin something that yes we all think is a joke, but like it actually is of sentimental value to her.
Girl.
And then you're not even like, and then you're like, oh, well, we thought it would be funny, and then oh, you're gonna blame me. That's just say you're sorry. Just say like it didn't land. I don't even know, but like that response was like not. It was bad. It's disturbing because you guys have really lost the point. You guys, the way that you guys feel
Yeah.
entitled to just mess with someone's like their physical body and like their stuff, it's really gotten a little bit crazy. Would you do that to Mary?
Girl,
Even asking the question sounds absurd, doesn't it?
I'm just disappointed in both of them, my girl, and especially Meredith. You
Yeah.
are an officer of the court. Girl, you are damaging your reputation, but wait till we get to the end, y'all. That's really damaging. I'm sick of them.
Yeah, it was a very sick of them moment at the dock. It was a weak admission. And yeah. Listen, I know Brittany is a character and a dingaling and not doesn't and has gone after Meredith. These are points that cannot be argued. They do not justify doing what was done to her though. They don't. They don't. Especially when Brittany's right. Lisa has completely gotten a pass with Meredith about talking crap about her family. Kempire replayed the hot mic moment from what was it, season 2 or 3, with Lisa talking about Meredith. She said way worse crap than what Brittany has ever said. So anyway, just yeah, not a good look at all, ladies,
Girl,
at
it
all.
sure wouldn't. Oh, I'm
Mm-mm.
embarrassed, Lou. I'm just disappointed. I'm not
Yeah,
even mad. I ain't the one it happened to, but it's just
yeah,
such a disappointment for y'all to act like that towards. I guess bottom line for me, I don't appreciate people's property being destroyed or damaged or ruined,
mm-mm.
for whatever rationale that they can think of or hiding behind. Nah, nah. If you're gonna take like all of her right shoes, that's one thing. That's hardly her hard.
Yeah, and then give them back when she realizes or whatever. Like a
Or not,
prank is different.
or not give them back. I would appreciate if they would taken all of her shoes for the right foot.
Well, if she has some designer shoes and you never gave them back, that's stealing. I'd kill you.
She ain't got no designer shoes.
I'm just
That's
saying,
why I said it.
but if you're taking somebody's shoes, that's the same as destroying their stuff. You got to give it back like you can't just take somebody's stuff or destroy it or
That's
eventually.
true. But if you think about it, making her walk with one shoe on, I'm just trying to think of something that's not so detrimental to. Anyway, either way, leave people alone. Y'all grown. Y'all not in high school, and think of another prank. Hell, I don't know. Just
Yeah.
or
Well, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, or if they could have thought to reprogram the voice and make it their voice or do something like that and give it to her. Like she pressed it, like what? Now that
I
would have been funny.
like I said, they felt throwing water on her every time she said Jared was liberty enough. Like it was borderline, you know what I mean? Like you really can only get away with doing it once before you're a mean girl and it happened multiple times, but fine. Okay, that's the hazing. That's the we're going to violate your personal space. We're going to throw water on you. She was a good sport about it. And she also runs her mouth, so to me that was kind of where you got to have some liberty with Brittany and you got to kind of, get after her and get away with some mean girl shit. But then you put what you did on top of it, and now you look like high school bullies. You look like the kind of crap that we'd see on an after school special, and then when we get up a level, on the plane. So I think at this point, I just like it's really just disappointing, like you said, to watch these women feel entitled to like violate somebody else's like personal space like that.
Yeah. as you can see, people, as you can hear us discuss this, it's
Yes.
just ridiculous and wrong. Don't do that no more.
Yeah, just stop. You took it too far. It went too far. It did.
Now, since we're all done with that mess, now where they're all
Mhm.
back and in the luxuries and whatever is of their own homes, and now we got them discussing things with folks, and we have Mary and Bronwyn um, meeting up. Now, Bronwyn is getting all the deets because remember, Bronwyn got there later than everyone, so her flight was not with everyone else. Totally different flight itinerary.
Mhm.
So she heard all the BS that we were talking about earlier, and then some, because Meredith showed her ASS on that plane in reference to Brittany and this TikTok info on Seth having a side coleslaw piece, whatever that they call
Mhm.
it nowadays. And yeah, so Mary was telling Brown, like, girl, Meredith was showing her ASS, just berating Brittany. And Brown was like, what? I missed it. That's what she said. I'm like, now see, Bronwyn, now come on. But Bronwyn, see, I say that because Bronwyn could never have imagined
Mhm.
it being so bad, which is why she was joking in that manner. Because had she been there, she probably would not have appreciated it. And I don't think she would have joined in because of how they were describing how Meredith was acting towards Brittany pretty much the whole flight. Just ridiculous. Do you have anything to say about that conversation?
I agree with your take. I do think Bronwyn couldn't imagine that, it had just turned into, like, basically sounds like just, like, an uncomfortably, uh, irrationally angry moment. Um, yeah, I agree.
Girl. And then who else is talking? So then we Whitney, she's talking to Justin.
Oh, yes, at the golf course.
And it was pretty much Whitney is mimicking Mary's sentiment because, like I said, like we said earlier, everybody's saying the same thing except for Lisa, of course, because once Lisa and Heather got together and Lisa was 90 minutes late, I would have left after 20.
That was rude. That was crazy. Like, I gasped. I went, "Lisa, that's rude," and she didn't even say sorry. That's the part I was like,
Girl.
no, I listen, you know what? You would have gotten literally the most. I would have been hot at 45. Like you said, you're right, 20-minute, but like I would have been heated half hour is what you get. Honestly. That's it.
Listen, if I'm hungry and we supposed to be eating and I just happen to be there, cool. If I decide to stay and eat there, cool, or drink, if whatever the
Yeah.
occasion is. But if we just meeting up just to talk, the first 10 minutes, hey, what's up? Where you at? By 20 minutes have gone by, either I'm going out the door or I'm waiting for you because you'll be right there.
Yep. You're
After being told by you in some
right.
form or fashion. But
You're
now on
telling
the 21st minute, I'm in my car.
you are Teddy Mellencamp telling Dorit. I don't think so.
Girl, I wish I would. 90
No,
minutes? Pick
crazy.
me.
No, crazy. I would have been looking at production. Absolutely not. Nope.
Pick me.
Uh-uh.
Pick me after 90 minutes.
Yeah.
Hell nah. So this conversation was a little more interesting because they were going back and forth, of course, because Heather was like, I heard this, that, and the third. Lisa was like, I was not joining in. Heather was like, it was like bullying. This is ridiculous. It was just utterly ridiculous because I woke up, I heard the mess and yada yada. Like,
She was trying to. This is gaslighting, folks. No,
Hell yeah.
this is what gaslighting is. She was telling her you didn't even argue with her until you were off the plane, and Heather's like, the plane was deboarding, but we were on it. And did Lisa argue? No. So Lisa's literally trying to deny the reality of what happened, and Heather is just like, bitch, you trying to like erase reality. That like, and Mary did the exact same thing in the scene with Meredith where they're both like, you were asleep, you weren't hearing. I woke up and it was like not cool. Like, no, everyone has a similar story. Now, the level to which it was crazy and violent and duct tape Meredith to an airplane chair air marshal, fine. But you were talking shit in an animated way that made everyone uncomfortable, and they noticed. You went on long enough that people that were napping on that leg of the flight or this or that, everyone was aware and uncomfortable of the level to which you were going after Brittany. As Mary did it to me the most believable. She was reliving it. Like the way that Mary like talked about it, you could see like
Mm-hmm.
Mary. That's why I said Mary's the most believable witness on this one. No, you were reliving some crap. Whatever pill you had in a drink on the plane put you in a mode where you were just vile. So like we don't have to split hairs. And like Lisa, you just keep trying to say, um, I was trying. Oh no, she needs to take accountability about it, and like I was the one that was put through stuff, and it was just like, Lisa, you are looking like such a douche canoe right now. Like, this is where you really, it's one thing to feel attacked on the yacht. I was there for you when Heather was super drunk trying to say, you're the leak, we know it, all of that. But here is where you should have just been like, I don't know what was going on with Meredith. It was out of control. I was trying to de escalate by telling Whitney to just send the damn TikTok. I'm sorry that Brittany was so traumatized by the situation. It was rough, you know? And not only that, but like Brittany has been to bat for Lisa.
I I I really not hold on. I am dumbfounded when I think about what what they all agreed to how Meredith behaved.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad Mary met with Meredith due to Heather's Heather was outraged. Whitney was dumbfounded like me. Her eyes was big, telling Justin, and just I just can't believe how Meredith behaved. You wouldn't even think that was her the way it was described, and how bad it made Brittany feel. Like earlier, when I just want to go over something real quick. Earlier, when I said, even though Brittany's reaction may not have been, I guess, appropriate. I don't. That's a kind of a weird word. Yet and still, her reaction is valid because it made her feel that way. In describing the horrid nature of how Meredith chose the words, how like her word, how vile she was towards Brittany because of the nature of the insult Brittany gave her and her husband and the marriage. And I'm starting to think, well, did it hit a sore spot? Because you just went like a raging bull seeing red.
In that scene with Brittany and Heather when they met up, Brittany looked very beaten down, right?
Yeah.
Like that, and let's we don't even have to categorize if the plane was like, like if her reaction level was like consummate to the level to which Meredith was going after her.
Yeah.
she had endured a lot the entire trip. Y'all put her through a lot. Y'all felt very
Right.
entitled to treat her like shit. So maybe it was really the final straw to be now hearing her talk crap about her on the flight right behind her to Lisa, and not have Lisa defend her at all, because here she has defended Lisa and thought Lisa was her friend. Lisa's bugging Whitney. Just show her the effing TikTok. Clearly, Meredith is having more of a reaction than she's willing to admit. Everybody was uncomfortable at the level of emotion she was portraying. And it was like everybody's just letting, imagine if somebody's sitting in their airplane chair talking smack about you behind you. You know what I mean? Like, like, so I don't know if she pulled her hair and she was shaking her chair, or if she got up too violently and that made her upset, or who knows. It just sounded like it just sounded like, Meredith, you are a little too entitled to be going on rants about her. What is going on? You're making everyone uncomfortable at the level you're being aggressive towards her for something, like you said, that nobody would really take a TikTok rumor that serious. Y'all have rumors said about yourselves all the time.
It's just so damn ridiculous. But I'm glad that, like I said, Mary was the one to have a talk with her, because everybody else would have really been more emotional, where Mary can take her emotions out of it. She's a lot more stable in that way, and which is what Meredith needs, because Meredith was cold as ice in that conversation, but she did agree to think about apologizing. She may have meant it in a bitch please, but I'll say it just because it's you. But hopefully that really did resonate within Meredith, in that
Oh,
it was coming from Mary, because Mary
yeah.
may have a little more tug on her heartstrings versus anyone else coming at her, considering Heather is her friend. Lisa will never do it because Lisa chimed in, and the fact that she has she feels a certain way right now, with Whitney, and she's really ain't that cool with Angie, but she's and Bronwyn wasn't there, so it really wasn't anyone else to come to Mary, but to Meredith, but Mary with a certain integrity that Meredith respects.
I think that we're going to see, as we saw in the mid-season trailer, that Meredith was actually doing a patronizing, like, thing to Mary. Like, I do think Mary came to her very calmly, and like I said, I respected Mary a lot, because you could tell that when they were sitting there, she's like, you were trying to deny the reality of what happened. Are you okay? Like, we were all there. You can't tell us that we don't know what we're talking about. And I think that, to your point, I think Meredith even entertained, like, what was it, 30 minutes, Mary? Like, she was kind of trying to give Mary a little respect and be willing to say, okay, fine, it was like 30 minutes. But Mary just was looking at her with her big old eyes like, bitch, no, you were carrying on. And Mary, I think, was genuinely concerned. Like, it goes back to the whole, were you on something? Because, like, you're downplaying this, like, you don't remember how you were acting. Like, and you're trying to deny how uncomfortable you're making all of us feel. But, you know, uh kudos to Mary, applauding Mary for trying to reason with her, and
Yeah,
also in a very, like, gentle way, also not backing down. Like, you're not going to convince me that you weren't acting crazy. Like, you can say what you want, but, like, I was there.
right.
And she also kind of tried to change the tone of, like, even if you don't think you did anything, maybe for your own peace and for the situation, consider apologizing to her, because she was really upset by it and was deeply affected. And so maybe you can consider, because here's the thing that, like, I really do try to live by. You especially when you feel so right on the mountain. Sometimes you are, sure. Sometimes somebody is just stupid and they did the wrong thing. But there's always a place where you're the asshole. You got to ask yourself, well, what did I bring to this? What did I contribute? How did this get us here? If both of us, like if we both are like decent people, what part did I play? You always have to ask yourself that, because, the second we start believing that our shit doesn't stink, we've lost the game, So it would have been nice to see Meredith go, I'll think about how I mishandled this,
Yeah.
and believe that maybe she might, but like it sure didn't feel like it. It felt like she was trying to downplay it, like, I complained about her. I'm not sorry for what I said because everything I said was, she deserved it and that's how I feel. And I'm like, yeah, but the way this girl reacted, like, it's not congruent. And I just don't buy it. I don't buy it.
FOS.
Yeah.
I think that was all of the
Oh, we forgot
oh
about Whitney and Bronwyn talking about their
I,
marriage.
we both was about to, but I just said, oh,
Yep,
when
yep,
you
yep.
said it. So yeah, definitely. Yes. Bronwyn and Whitney met up, child. This is what you're talking about with the fit. Like, yeah, they both look
Loved
good.
it.
Like,
Yes,
hello.
they did. But I loved Bronwyn's outfit. Loved
Yes.
it. Sorry, I just have to say that. Anyway.
So in the midst of all of this going on, Brown was having her own issues too. Apparently, it's more social media fodder where
Right.
someone caught Todd on a plane, looking over his shoulder, all in his business, looking at women, maybe on a site or maybe more personal effects, but
Right.
women nonetheless, and told the world via social media.
In lingerie.
Oh, I didn't hear that part.
Yes,
Okay.
I did.
Lingering. Okay.
In the lingerie. Victoria's Secretions, to quote Wanda.
Uh,
Yep.
and with that, Bronwyn and Whitney gave us some tea. Child, I was like, oh, okay. So apparently, this brought up a whole situation that has never been discussed, especially not in this way. So
Yeah.
Bronwyn said, had he told me, perhaps we can have an understanding that is understood so that we both can partake in what people call the forbidden fruit and stay married, still do what we do, but let's not surprise each other, especially me. And then that
Right.
made Whitney say, well, girl, yeah, me and Justin already been through that. We went to counseling, so we decided not to do it no more. But yeah, we did have our thing. But to be honest, if I want to go out tomorrow and do it, I just do it. But I'm like, oh, did I pretty much sum it up, or was it something I missed?
No, I think you did a very, yeah. I mean, first of all, Todd, you are not that attractive. I'm sorry. Like, I sound like an a-hole, but like you look like an old man. You're an old man. Like like and you have a hot young wife. You know that anybody giving you any attention that's young and hot and hotter than her is because of your money. And I always look at men that like do that, where I'm like, you're not attractive, right? It's money. Like,
Damn.
I'm getting sorry, but it's the truth. I'm not saying he's horrible, but like when you are looking at a certain caliber of woman or attractiveness, and
Mm-hmm.
ladies, this is the opposite for you and your old ugly asses too. And I'm including myself. I'm just saying, when we go high above our caliber of where we're at in kind of our station in life, we know what's happening. So Todd, like, seriously, like, yeah, it's like, whatever. I guess if you can enjoy the fact that people are absolutely using you for your money. But I also thought it was really interesting, like, it's a real conversation of I want to keep my meal ticket, but you're getting older and or it's an interesting conversation. I personally, because of the trauma I've endured, I don't want to deal with this open. I'm not. I don't want to be with someone where we both want to do that. There's so many things to stress out about. I don't want to worry about that part, like being picked over somebody else or other people, and it's just no. But I respect it. I do, especially if you're married to someone way older and you're like not aligning, but you care about each other. And if you're both I mean, do you. Do you. As long as you're both happy, I don't really give a shit. But the Todd and Bronwyn one is interesting to me because I don't really feel like it's based like Whitney and her husband, they're freaky and kind of, whatever. Like I could see them coming to that kind of agreement in order to maintain their family unit. Um, because they're both kind of like, especially Whitney, I get it. But Bronwyn and Todd, it just seems more like I'm willing to let you play because I don't necessarily need to keep your attention. Just don't embarrass me.
And that's the thing, it's one thing to be humiliated, embarrassed, disrespected just amongst y'all, but not a whole World Wide Web is looking and talking and laughing at me because I'm looking like a fool. Or they're, oh yeah, see, I told you, she's just this, or he, speculating, or don't get caught. But then again, I'm not saying do it. But the whole point is, if you're gonna get caught, dude, really, you couldn't wait to look at those pictures in the property of your own, sanctuary or domain. You got to do us all out in the open, embarrassing me like this. Yeah, just give me the credit card, and that's that on that.
You
Don't let
think
it happen
people
again.
and like ew, you think people can't see your phone on a plane? Don't look at porn. Don't look at corn. Sorry, I don't know if the live will like that. Don't look at the corn. Don't look at women scantily clad. Like you're in public. Like keep your viewing to like R-rated stuff, PG-13. Like get out of here. Like what are you doing? Just no, Todd. And that you're real grumpy about all this, and then you're doing that. You're kind of a douche. Like, listen, Todd, if she's willing to let your eye wander, you might need to let her have this show. How about that?
Todd, you messed up.
Yeah.
And it is. I don't know if is that you were frustrated because she was talking to you about the mess going on a trip when you told her not to. I don't know if it's retaliation. Most times that's what happens when you're frustrated, fed up, and you don't think clearly, and you're kind of doing this to get back at somebody because you seem like the type of person who pretty much told us that you have to consider discretion due to your line of work. So I can't. That's why I'm thinking that perhaps you're feeling frustrated, upset, and you're having this type of retaliation in a way of looking at women that are interesting to you because maybe perhaps your wife is not so interesting to you at the moment because she's complaining to you about something that you said don't complain to you about. That he seems like a tit for tat kind of dude. Being older and grumpier. So that's just my speculation. But bottom line is, you got caught. Whether she finds it, unforgivable or not, it was just disrespectful out in the open, and you deserve your hand swatted for that. Mm-hmm.
Well, remember, he got caught before the reunion, like texting some other flirtatiously. Remember when she talked about it on her first season? So I think he has had a wandering eye. I don't know if he's straight up cheated, but it sounds like he has pushed the line with his communications with women. This is not the first offense. And I think that she's getting to the point where she's like, I don't want to be embarrassed by this. And you keep doing that. But it's like when that man ate the cherry off your sundae after you went on a whole thing about him doing it, like you kind of listen, he's just living up to some of the red flags. You know, like you said, Todd, you messed up. Um, you need to get it together. And you brought up a really great point. Like, shout out to you for the point of the episode of the point of the review, ma'am. You already shamed her about her legal things, talking about it affects your reputation and all that. Um, well, so does the crap you're doing. I don't want to have a financial planner that I know openly cheats on his wife. I'd prefer to not have that.
And can't keep things confidential.
Yeah.
That should be kept confidential.
Let me tell you, if you make it clear that you have some proclivities that you can't control, that you would put your marriage, it makes me think that you wouldn't have the restraint to do what's right with my money.
Ding. That part. Because, hey, hello.
I'm just saying, there's a lot of financial planners out there, and if your reputation matters, not having the restraint to not make a fool out of your wife on Real Housewives would definitely speak to me and my money if I had
And
enough to give you to manage.
And who's to say he wasn't flipping and watching some documents someone may have looked at? Again, breaching confidentiality and disclosing information that to someone else's eye that shouldn't be looking because you want to be on your phone out in the open. Just saying. It's a reasonable assumption given that you're careless with your devices. So
Right. Get it together, Todd. Get it together. This ain't looking good.
now we're gonna move on to Angie and Greece.
Oh yeah, this is
Viva Greece.
such a fast forward scene. But anyway, yeah.
And not the Greece we have been discussing where people are disparaging someone else's livelihood or character, business, whatever the case. No, we're talking about the country, y'all. The country Greece.
Mm-hmm.
And, that's where Angie's family is from. And in the beginning of the season, we know that they're going to take a trip out there. She's thinking about dual citizenship. She is encouraging her daughter in an aggressive way as it was done to her, because she wants her daughter to embrace the culture and have an opinion to really take on the notion. Perhaps she can, play for the Olympics for Greece, considering she, is from there and could have all these things Angie's thinking about for her daughter's future. I think it's important to expose the child to things like this. Um, and as they get older, they can make formed decisions on their life moving forward. I don't mind a little push, but I would just, be careful and just think about not everything that was done to us should be handed down to our children. But long as it's done in love, and it's not too pressuring for her, because she really doesn't seem interested. However, I think it's important that we all know where we come from, and that we all take stake in knowing certain parts of our heritage and lineage, to where it is and where it is what was I about to say, where it's imperative that the information is received. And so that's pretty much where I'm coming from. I think it's good, but just be careful in how you and how aggressive you are with all of that. What do you think about that?
Sometimes these scenes are like such an eye roll,
Mhm.
I do definitely agree with you. Here's I agree with you. I would be proud to be Greek if I think culture and tradition and all that stuff. And I think even if I were like I remember we did a fashion show and you were supposed to wear something from your cultural heritage, and my mom made me an outfit, from part of our Italian side of the family, and I loved it. I
Mhm,
was like, totally into it. But
mhm,
um and I agree with you too that like you also can't push something hard too hard. What I thought was kind of interesting about it is the daughter keeps saying I identify with dad's side of the family, like horses and like very, white American, you know what I mean? Like we're
mhm,
all very homogenous kind of mutt, you know what I mean? Like there's
mhm,
absolutely a white person in America, middle class, can talk kind of about how they're like mutt European American or their European background doesn't ring through because they've been here so long or whatever, right?
mhm,
So I kind of just wondered if maybe they hadn't made Greek a big thing to her, like growing up the whole way through, because, you know, I don't know, like I was just surprised at how much she almost was like kind of anti it with how much Angie is pro it.
mhm,
So that I thought was surprising. I agree though
mhm,
that, hopefully she feels differently when she's older and appreciates it because, Greece is a wonderful place and a lot of great traditions and a lot of ancient knowledge and all that. So,
mhm,
and yes, Angie, I 100% support you getting your dual citizenship because why not? If
mhm,
anybody had the opportunity to do so, they should, I think.
mhm.
Get a house there for sure. Are you kidding? Yeah.
Just go over there and live. We'll see you later. Mhm.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean it's just kind of a weird like, I don't like it. Okay. Why? Anyway, fine. You know, okay. Move it along. No, but like I said, I do respect Angie saying you'll thank me later because I do think like if especially because Angie's father has so much there's a lot of meaning about what he went through as an immigrant, and that's still very close to Angie's experience and all that.
Mhm,
So it is really interesting though about how she talked about how she didn't know anything about her mother's background, which I thought was also very interesting. If her mother came from Greece, I understand that our mother struggled with substance abuse and died early, but there's kind of a weird lack of understanding there. So it seems like there's a lot going on that we don't know about or
Well,
more.
I also want to add culture is important.
Mhm.
We always have heard, and if you haven't, I don't know where you've been, but what I'm about to say is so commonplace. You don't know where you're going unless you know where you've been. And what I mean by that, it's not just necessarily, the address you live on and you're trying to get to the store and come back. I mean, from where are your people from? What cultures are you still participating in, keeping alive? And one of those is very common amongst different ethnicities and cultures is communication, telling stories about the old, right? Um, Sometimes communication is all that you have. You can write it down, you can put it into any form of written whatever. Uh, we saw the hieroglyphics on the walls in certain parts of the world, whether it's in South America. Hell, some is found in. I just learned this myself. Some of the hieroglyphics told by uh, ancestry from uh, African natives were wonder of the world up there up north, Grand Canyon, and that there's some places that people can't go that's being protected by the powers that be, so that it's not tampered with. I'm like, wow, I would love to. So I plan to research that a little later. But what I'm just trying to say is it's important that that Electra really hones in on the important part of her history, and perhaps dual citizenship may not be a thing, but making sure that she understands her history, not just about her specific family, but just the from where her people are from, and knowing certain historical, factual events and times, so that she is not, unaware. But that's with everything. Just like now, 50 years from now, we'll be talking about what's going on down to the down to Washington. Just all these things that are important in culture, not just pop culture, but in our culture. I just think it's so important for us to know our history. So big
Yeah,
ups to that.
her
Go ahead.
name is Electra. That's Greek as hell, girl. You need to know a little something.
Um, Big ups to Greece. I can't wait to see when they go. Girl, Angie's gonna cut
Mm-hmm.
a fool. Child, I can't wait to see Angie go off. She gonna be leading everybody, and just they're probably gonna be so sick of her after that trip. But I just can't wait, because I love it. I love to see when people are in their element. Now,
Mm-hmm.
the other two bullet points, what we already discussed, really was the conversation with Lisa and Heather, and then the conversation Mary had with Meredith, and was there anything else you wanted to discuss about this episode? Because I think I did it already.
I agree. No, I think we got through it. We thoroughly analyzed.
Yes. I did want to say, though, regarding Brittany, um, towards the end, they were showing some um, uh, scenes for next episode.
Mm-hmm.
I really hope that she did not go back on her word with her children, or her child, because how she cutting the food with that man on camera. It's, to me, all he wants is to be on camera. Something tells me that's all he is desiring, is to have some type of fame and fortune like his family members. He just seems so damn thirsty.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, listen, Brittany, we are on your side that you shouldn't be violated as a person because you're annoying. But you still are annoying. And the way that you're letting your children down for some mediocre D from some dude that wouldn't even say I love you on a unicorn. He said you are loved. Like, get out of here. And the way he went to Whitney's husband and talked mess about you, like he did, like, it's not good. Like, and I feel for you. I've had some terrible taste myself, whatever, but like
We all
I
have, child. Ain't
I'll
that right?
be damned if I'm gonna let you humiliate me on TV. Knock off a poor man's Osmond, just humiliating me on
That's
TV
what
like
I'm
that.
saying, girl.
Yeah.
Mm.
Mm-mm.
You know what? I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. The D could be the dingaling of gold.
It,
It could be. Just saying.
yeah.
However, making excuses for him is not how a woman should be towards the man she's interested in. No one should make excuses for their significant other. So, for instance, like that doggone unicorn, you are loved. That is such a player move, girl. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
he knows that you value your faith. He knows that everybody is loved. He
And
knows that you are loved. He knows you are loved. But the
you're,
fact that he did not say, I love you on that bear
yeah.
is tantamount to the BS that he gives you everywhere else. It is ridiculous in nature. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I wanted to make sure that you finished. Your daughter specifically asked you to take a break, not even a long one, from this man to show her a sign of faith that she could trust you and be rebuilding your relationship, that you wouldn't prioritize crappy dudes over the when your own children don't feel loved enough by their mother to not be picked by over a piece of crap, and you couldn't even do that. Like it's crazy. Like it was not even easy. All he did was have to like say the right words, and you're like abandoning that's heartbreaking to watch.
Yeah.
Heartbreaking. So this is where I would throw water on you too. Like this is where maybe I would want a little liberty. You need to seriously, you need to show the audience that you are willing to take your daughter's emotions more seriously than this dude that won't even say I love you on a Build-A-Bear.
Girl, you too old for this. Just like Meredith and Lisa. Y'all and Bronwyn, y'all too old.
You don't even like him that much. You were trying to hit on everybody on the boat. Captain Jason, Joao, like we saw you. You were trying to get. Listen, if one of them had said "let's go," you would have been cheating on Jared. That unicorn, you would have been like, "throw it in the water. I'm cool." So get it together.
It's like she's just hot in the pants.
Yeah.
And you are a mother of barely adult children. Get a girl, calm down. You know what? Meredith was right, pouring the water in your lap. Maybe you need to calm that little thing down, because you obviously have it reminds me of how Whitney said she's exploring who she is. She's excited about all this attention due to her sexuality and sensuality. Maybe that's the thing with these women who were sheltered. They're just willy-nilly. And it's no disrespect, because if that's the culture or the experience for these women in that geographical area due to what they've experienced before, get a grip. Actually, we've seen it in Whitney. We've seen it we see it in Brittany. We see it in Heather. All this willy-nilly, and it's based off of their sexuality that they're weaponizing. And Brittany, your children have spoken. I think I'm done, for real.
Yeah, same. Get it together.
Well, y'all, we hope you enjoyed this review. We will be back. Of course, we got shows coming through. Of course, we got the new Selling Sunset that just dropped the other day. Please go ahead and check that replay. And if you missed the previous seasons, go into my library and just pick one and just keep going, and just so many videos to choose from. And of course, we got Southern Charm coming through in another couple of weeks, I think, somewhere around the holiday. We should be putting that out as well. So, and then of course, Drag Race at the beginning of the year sometime. We're just moving around along. Then I have reviews I do on my own, on my channel, with the Housewives, Belle Collective, Love and Marriage Huntsville, Reasonable Doubt on Netflix. There's all kind of stuff going on over here, y'all. So that was a good episode. We just want to thank you for tuning in. And before we go, we're going to find out where Erin is when she ain't talking ish with me.
You can catch me on Facebook at Psychic Erin Boyd, or on Instagram at psychic_ELB, like you see on my nameplate, or on my nameplate. Anyway, Instagram and Threads. Hit me up in the DMs if you would like to get a psychic reading. Sorry, my brain tripped up there for a second.
And I also put her name in the chat. So Yeah, hit her up, you guys. You will be pleasantly surprised. You will not be disappointed at all once you get your reading. And I guess that was it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for the new subscribers. Don't forget when you subscribe, make sure the bell is black so you get all the notifications. And also, don't forget to hype the videos, y'all. That's a new thing going on YouTube. When you see the hype there next to the somewhat like the like button and the subscribe button and all that, there should be a hype. So please hype it. It'll get me in more spaces and places, because I'm trying to get monetized, y'all. So appreciate all the love. We appreciate all the love, and we'll catch you next time. Bye, y'all.